What's going on? I'm here with my client, Kyle. He just finished up his 6 months. Kyle, tell him who you are, where are you from, and what do you do?
My name is Kyle Gladfelter. I already fucked it up. Um, I'm from Southern California. I was raised here. I was actually born up over in Alaska. Um, but I'm from Southern California, all over the place, really, mostly Orange County. And I am a stage manager at Universal Studios Hollywood, the
Ooh,
entertainment capital of LA, as
fancy.
they like to say.
Awesome, man. So what were some of like the obstacles that you were facing when you were trying to get in shape on your own?
On my own, it was hard to find consistency. Um, Especially like because you don't have anybody to guide you and tell you what's right, what's wrong. Um, so I ended up doing a lot of yo-yo dieting and into I got into shape for my wedding, but I was following like a super strict diet, um, which is essentially like no carbs whatsoever. And it was good, but like I kind of felt honestly, I kind of felt like shit during the moment. I was doing a lot of fasting. Um, so I was kind of just like being super restrictive with like my energy and my body. And that was a pretty difficult time when I was doing it on my own. Uh, Having a coach definitely helped uh, ease my way back into a normal diet and getting some sense of normalcy
Yeah,
throughout the process.
I remember when we first talked, you were super about that keto life. You're like,
I
no, no, no,
was,
no carbs, no carbs. I
yeah.
remember you told me you didn't, I have it in my notes. You're like, I don't want abs because I know what it takes to get there. And I was like, okay, you say that now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I didn't know. Like I did everything on my own. Like back when I was like almost 300 pounds, like years and years ago, I think it was almost a decade ago. I was almost 300 pounds and I was like, I got to cut all this stuff out. So I started losing weight, cutting out my diet, cutting out uh, parts of my food intake through my diet, going to the gym more regularly, lost some weight there. And then I started plateauing at 220 ish um, after about a year. Um, and I just kind of stayed there and kind of intermingled. And then I found keto, and that helped me actually drop down to my lowest weight then, 173. But that took me 3 to 4 years to get there, and I was on keto for a long time,
Damn.
um, very long time. So like that's why I was so like religiously stuck on it when we first started.
Yeah.
But then like especially once pandemic hit, like it was sustainable for a while, but then it was kind of difficult to move things around. I had to adjust everything I ate, um, especially like when I went to eat with my wife or with friends and family. Like it was always something I had to change up, which I didn't mind. But at the same time, I felt like I couldn't really enjoy the foods that I had wanted and have been craving um, in a more free kind of sense.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
You're
like
like, it was like
I was
restricted and stressful.
yeah, like it was stressful in its own sense, but also like and restrictive. But I did enjoy being on keto for that time. But because I got the results I wanted, but after a while, like my weight was always like fluctuating and going up and down. I was like, I can't be doing this all the time. I got to
Yeah.
find something more sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you hear about me and Team Lionhearted?
I heard of you through a friend. He had posted about you and how he had joined your team as your client, and I was like, let's see where this goes. Like back then, I was like, I don't need a coach. I was so like in my mind about it. And then like I saw the results he had, and like he was going out to eat, he was enjoying life, and he he had posted like his results, and I was like, that's really impressive. maybe I should look into that, and just kind of um let that fall by the wayside for a couple months. And I was just kept thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm tired of trying to make all my own decisions. I need somebody to keep me accountable and keep me focused throughout the entire journey. And so I was like, let's do it.
Yeah, it's funny. Like people don't really realize it, but taking care of the decisions about your own fitness is hard because fitness is so emotional. You're not
Yeah.
just looking at data and numbers. You're also like, oh, I don't feel good today. Maybe I should do this. I don't look as good today. Maybe I should do
Yeah.
that. And if you don't know what you're doing, it drives you insane.
It does. And like it's a huge mental game,
Yeah.
you know. It's a mental, emotional, and physical toll, but like it's all just a long-term uh it's a long-term goal and a long-term kind of process that you have to understand.
So what was your biggest fear or skepticism about joining the program?
Well, I think we already touched on it a little bit. I was like, I don't really need it. Um, I'm afraid it's gonna be too restrictive. It's gonna be difficult. Like I'm not gonna be able to enjoy the foods that I want. Um, and I can't, just go out and do what I want to do, eat what I want to eat. Um, and with the program, like there was a certain sense of that, but it wasn't restrictive in the way I thought. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it's more
Yeah.
like you make the decision on whether it's worth it for you to eat or not. It's not no, you can
Yeah,
never
it's
have it.
like yeah, and at the same time, it's like if once you join the program, it's like, oh, I don't want to let this person down.
Mm,
Like you have a sense of responsibility to another person,
yeah.
uh, which helps a lot
Yeah,
in the
yeah, that
mental
outside
game.
accountability.
Yeah, exactly.
So you kind of had
Because
that.
not
Oh, is that?
because I was gonna say because not it's not so much like you're you're in it for yourself, but then there's also somebody else who's helping you stay accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started off with the I don't need anybody's help. I can do it myself mentality. And
Yeah.
then you realize the accountability is what really helps you. And
Yeah.
it's funny because you went from being super hardcore keto and now you eat sushi like every weekend.
Sushi, rice, potatoes on the daily,
Yeah.
breads.
So much better.
Oh,
Cheese
it's
only gets you
fun.
so far.
I know. Garlic toast. Oh, don't even get me started.
So what specific results have you experienced so far?
Um, Besides like losing inches around the waist and obviously like the decrease in body fat and weight, like I've noticed when I was at my lowest weight during keto, my chest was it was there, it was flat. I had abs, great. But then after like this program, like my chest was fuller, my muscles feel much fuller, like I feel more built. I have I notice a little bit more muscle definition compared to when I was doing keto. Um, like especially like I'm starting to see like the Adonis muscles, the V taper,
Oh, the little V
right around the
cut?
hips.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, starting to see one of those. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen those. Probably, I don't even remember. Like, I don't remember having those when I was doing keto. So it's like it's really like it's more so like those are the biggest things. Like, and having everybody else come to me and be like, hey, you lost a lot of weight. Like, it looks good. Like, you look really great. Your face is slimmed down a ton. Um, it's they're saying that I look really healthy. Like, it's really rewarding in that sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cool when other people notice that you're not asking for their opinion because like I can tell you that you look good, but when other people randomly will tell you, then you're like,
yeah.
okay, it must be a big difference then.
Yeah, even yesterday I was at work and I was at a venue that I haven't been at in I don't know, 6 months, something like that. And everybody was telling me it's like, "Dang, you look really good. You look like you lost a lot of weight." like, you look real fit, real slim. And I was like, oh, thanks. It's like, it's one of those weird, like, things. I felt like
Yeah.
Kevin James in that meme, like, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird to take the compliment, even though you're like, oh yeah, I mean, I have been doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I understand, like, I haven't seen you in a long time, but it's nice to get uh that appreciation and notice from other people outside of the people you normally.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, just for some numbers, you're down almost 7 inches on your waist. So
Yeah.
6.7 inches in the last 6 months. That's over an
Yeah.
inch a month. And you're down 39 pounds.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. It
And
was
you eat sushi.
insane. And in a matter of 6 months.
Yeah. And you eat sushi now.
And I ate sushi, and I have rice,
Which
and I
is
have
big because you're
potatoes.
Asian. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have rice. Oh, like when I was doing keto, I hardly had rice. I had cauliflower rice, which was fine. But I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Fine and good are different things.
yeah, it's totally different. Totally
uh,
different. One thing I do like about keto is that, like, it made me more cognizant about, like, ingredients and
mm,
sugars
yeah.
and macros. And so, like, that kind of helped me jump into this a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So I understand how to understood how to read, like, ingredient labels and things like that. So
Yeah. Most
that's
people
one
have
thing I
never
won't
done
gripe about keto about, um, but
that.
yeah, it's definitely helpful. I did miss the rice though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, so what's one big win that you're super proud of accomplishing since joining?
One big win. Can't really, I don't know. There's a lot of small wins that just add up to one big win. Um, like there's a lot more. I feel like I have a lot more freedom with my food. Um, because, like, back then, like, I was a big emotional eater. Like, that's how I got to 300 pounds. So, like, being able to understand, like, oh, I could have ice cream on this day, but, just focus back up again for the next 2 weeks or whatever. I can go have sushi, all you can eat, whatever, and then focus back up. Just getting those in every once in a while is perfectly okay. And I think that's a uh, big mental win that I had, um, as far as a big win goes. Because I thought I had a healthy obsession with food, um, back when I was doing keto, and even years prior. I thought I was a little bit more uh, healthier in the sense, like, I understood, like, eating right and stuff like that. But, like, now it's just like it just opened new doors, um, a lot more freedom, like I said. So it's definitely eye opening to be able to eat freely, um, with, restrictions, obviously, and with caveats and stuff, but not having to think so hard about it like I
Yeah.
used to.
Okay. So your big win is just having more balance and a better relationship with food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big mental win for me.
Yeah. That's pretty big. Being Filipino is tough with the food.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah. The
Oh,
whole culture is based around food.
it is. And I mean, we have, what was it? Kamayans.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big event. You go to your family party, there's a big lechon pig right there.
Yeah.
Like, it's everything is based around food. And I understand that, like, it's part of our culture, and, like, that's
Yeah.
how we all get so close, and, like, as a community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um but having that healthy relationship with food is also just as important.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Um, so what would you say to someone who is on the fence or skeptical about joining Team Lionhearted?
Um give it a shot. You won't They're going to work with you, and whatever restrictions you have and whatever things in your life that you have going on. Like, I was going through a lot of family stuff. Um, there was also like I was in the middle of buying a house during that time, so like that was pretty stressful. So like they're they're gonna guide you to where you want to be, and they know you want your goals, and they want to help you. So I say go for it. Um, it's only gonna reward you in the end.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I remember you
Yeah,
were
of
like
course.
on the fence a little bit at the when you signed
Yeah,
up.
I was very on the fence. Like you can look at that video. I was like, I don't know. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, this is an investment for myself, an investment for my future. And this is, like, who knows? Like maybe AJ will be cool enough and we'll hang out or something. I don't know. Who knows? But like it was definitely a big pain point. As like, do I want to do this or not? And you brought it up. It's just like, well, I'm only going to help you. This is only going to benefit you. If you don't want it, it's cool. But if you want to invest in yourself, this is a way to do it. And so I took the leap, and
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Very visually took a leap of faith.
Yeah.
You're
Very,
like,
very visually
you're
deep
like,
faith.
let's do it. Let's do it. All right, all
Yeah.
right, well, cool, man. Thanks. I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate all your work.